Good evening and welcome to tonight's webinar jam Google Hangout webinar for the launch of Mygreenergyplan. My name is Ben Colley and you're all warmly welcomed along this evening. Let's just make sure we've got everything as we want. Okay, perfect. I hope that everyone can hear me. If someone wants to just drop me a message on Messenger, just to say that you've got me okay. And then if they just want to confirm that you can see my screen. If you just want to drop me a message that you can hear me okay and that you can see my screen all right, I will start tonight's webinar. It's showing that we're live, so you should get a picture of Mygreenergyplan launch on your screens now. Any one of my friends wants to drop me a message on Facebook Messenger just to confirm that we're good. All good, Ben. Thank you very much for that, Joanne. Perfect. So, okay, let me just give you a little bit of an insight what this is all about, because you're probably a little bit confused and you've heard a lot about it and seen me posting posts and that kind of thing on my Mygreenergyplan Facebook page, but also on my personal timeline. So I'm just going to run through a couple of slides first of all with you, and then we're going to get into the meat and gravy of tonight. So first of all, who am I? For those that don't know me, that have come through from Instagram or have come through from other social media platforms, my name is Ben Colley. I'm currently a coach, peak performance coach in the network marketing profession. And I started this concept additionally alongside that with a couple of business partners. My history is in the UK military. I was in the Grenadier Guards for just short of 5 years, served operationally around the world. And I did 10 years then after the Grenadier Guards tour of duty. I did 10 years in the NHS as an ambulance responder, dealing with a wide variety of emergency situations. So that was quite testing. And then my wife got involved in network marketing, and I basically sorry, I just got a message through saying, can hear you, can only see a picture of you and Kelly. Okay. Let me go back in, guys. Let me just have a little look. Let's try and sort this out. Start screen share. That might help. And if we click onto this, can someone send me a message now? Can we go back on this? So technical problems. Can you see my slides now, Claire Howe? Could you message me back if you can see what I'm talking about? It should screen share, so we should be good. Or anyone? Doesn't make any difference who it is. A few people say can hear me, but you can't see anything. Can see now. Perfect. Thank you, mate. Yeah, that's good. Yes. Okay. So this is the initial slide, and then this is obviously what I was just talking about then, which is 10 years as an NHS ambulance responder, top 1% of UK network marketing business developer. I've worked behind the scenes really a lot of the time with Kelly. She's the nuts and bolts person who started her business. And I said I'll help her in the mindset and the coaching and development of the people that she worked alongside. And it worked quite well because we got to the top 1%. So I feel in the coaching world and getting the maximum performance out of people, I've had some experience over the last 4 years. Things I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a nutritionalist, before anyone starts giving me curveball questions about trying to cure this wacky thing that they picked up in the Amazon. That is not what I'm about. But things that I am committed to is humanity, growth and contribution, alternative thinking and research, and happiness. And that's really where this all began, because this all began with a phone call from a friend of mine's wife, who said to me, can you help? And she was quite desperate. This was about 12 months exactly ago. And she says, can you help my husband, who was a great friend of mine back when I was on the ambulance service, and still is a great friend, but your relationships often separate, don't they? You don't see as much of each other. Can I help him? And I said, what's the problem? She said, well, he's turned into the stereotypical couch potato. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything active. He doesn't want to do any DIY or anything around the house. The energy's lost out of their relationship. Doesn't go to the gym. Eats junk food. Put on 6 stone, close to 6 stone since when I knew him, in weight. And he was spiraling. He was playing video games, and he was attached basically with super glue to the sofa. And she says, can I do anything to put the spark back into their relationship? Can I? And I thought, well, it's certainly something I hadn't ever taken on. I'd never, ever thought, you know, that through my sort of mindset, my passion for mindset coaching, that I would be going down the sort of health and nutrition avenue again from the days when I left it, obviously, when I was on the ambulance service. So anyway, I love a challenge. I do. The bigger the challenge, I think I'd take it on, because I think you have to push yourself and stretch yourself. So I said, of course, I'll do my level best. The key ingredient is he needs to change. You know, he needs to want, to change. And that is the key. And that is really the first foundation, the amino acid, shall we say, of Mygreenergyplan. It's the desire for you to change. You know, there's no good coming into this thinking it's a fad, thinking it's a trend, because it's not, you know, thinking I'm going to stick to it for a week, because it's not that kind of idea. The concept for me, as you're going to see shortly, is something that's going to last a period of time, hopefully right up until you meet your maker. You know, you're going to adopt some new values and beliefs into your life that's going to change so many different things. So I said, of course. And I've worked with Alistair now in the gym, in the kitchen, on his mindset, and to such a degree that he is now a business partner of mine on this. And I want to say a massive thank you to him. He's actually still on the ambulance tonight, because he's put in a great deal of effort onto the website to get us both of us have been working tirelessly on it, and anyone that's into websites would suggest you get someone to do it. Well, we decided that we're 2 regular blokes and we wanted to do it all ourselves, so we can say we've created this. So he's contributed, and he's now lost over 3 stone in weight in that 12-month period of time. So as what happens in network marketing, we talk about product or service to other people that works for us. So that is what this is based on. The following information I'm going to give you is subjective. Okay, you're going to probably get doctors and barristers and people in the new, you know, vegans and health and wellness specialists and all that kind of thing, and they might pick fault with some of the information that I'm going to pass on to you, and other people might applaud me. But this is the information I've researched. You know, the topics that I'm sharing with you tonight is I'm sharing my opinion of what I've found over since the ambulance service days, about the anatomy and physiology, the 10 years on the ambulance service, but also with regard to what I've done with Ali. And then I said, well, I need another guinea pig. So I took another guinea pig, which was my wife. She's now lost 11 pounds. I took another guinea pig, which was my mother-in-law. She's now lost 6 pounds in 2 weeks. So as far as my weight loss plan, I think that I'm getting results, but you can only talk about your own personal findings. So I wanted to make it clear that I am not a doctor, a nutritionist, or a dietitian. I'm someone who's passionate about humanity and turning people around on a large scale, turning people on a large scale around, not just 1 or 2. I want to get to massive amounts of people. So please, you know, feel free to Google or to do whatever you do with regards to any of these topics that we're talking about tonight. Do your own research. You know, I sincerely ask you to do that, because it's just a foundation. It's a starting point. It's an awakening. You know, some of the information I'm going to give you tonight is historic. It's very old, and some of it is brand new in the last decade. You know, where people are seeing significant changes. So take it and do with it as you please. Information is there for you to move yourselves forward. So where are we now? I firmly believe that we're in a convenience-based world, especially in the food industry. Everything is being cut, is having the corners cut. You can go and get yourself whatever kind of meal all ready to go and just to stick in the oven or the microwave or whatever you do. I don't use a microwave now, but you can get them kinds of food. You know what I'm talking about. You can actually get a Sunday roast, I think. I'm right in saying, I don't shop in there, but if you go into one of these frozen supermarkets, you can get a Sunday roast ready to just defrost and stick on your plate. Everything is for convenience. Everything is for trying to save more time. And we've got a massive choice of which way we go at our fingertips, literally at our fingertips, haven't we? You know, on our laptops or our iPads, phones and everything like that. But also when you go into a supermarket, if you go to a big one, there may be 50 cans of beans. And you spoil that much for choice. A lot of people go on price, not everyone. Some people go on brand and some people go on quality and all different other factors. But the choice is causing confusion and what's good and what's bad. Who do we listen to? Who do we take advice from? We probably take the most of our advice from healthcare professionals and from maybe relatives and friends who may have experienced the same thing as well, and television, radio. We take this kind of advice. But what I firmly, passionate believe in, that education in the right areas, healthcare. Let me explain what I mean by healthcare before we move on, is looking after yourself. Now, it's not pharmaceutical drugs, okay? That's sick care. I'm talking about looking after yourself when you're well. I think education of looking after yourself when you're well is often misleading. The things that you need to do, the things that you need to take. What we've got to seriously consider is this. The pharmaceutical industry is worth over $1 trillion. I was going to say $1 million then, $1 trillion, and it's growing exponentially. More and more and more doctors are putting more and more people onto more and more medication. Whether you like to hear that from me or not, that's the truth. That is fact. And on the website, when it goes live a little bit later on this evening, you're going to see a chart of just how that is growing. Yeah, and to me, that is frightening, and I feel passionate about trying to do something about it. People are turning to tablets in a cure, okay, in a cure mentality rather than a prevention mentality. This concept of mine is aimed at prevention. Yeah, it's aimed at stopping us getting ill before we get to the drug stage. And those people that are taking tablets, because this is food-based, you know, there's no dosages, there's no challenges like that, unless obviously you are hypersensitive to anything in meals, then there's no problems in you consuming these foodstuffs, okay? Western governments are pouring millions into cures, not prevention. Think about cancer therapy for one. How many millions of dollars are they pouring into it, buying these drugs from pharmaceutical companies, but not pouring the same volume of money into the prevention? You know, let's face it, the illness and disease is a business, and it's a big business. And you would be shocked to find out which figures of authority have got their noses in those pies globally. Politicians, ambassadors, and those kind of people have got share interests in a lot of pharmaceutical companies. So it doesn't, in a business sense, it doesn't make any sense for them to prevent you from being ill. It makes them money from you being ill. I'm not saying they're all the same, but do your own research, please. I've spent a lot of years looking into this, and I can assure you things like the swine flu and Tamiflu vaccines and all this kind of thing made a lot of people very, very rich. Okay, very, very rich indeed. So let's press on. 3 things that you need to survive, and these are non-negotiable. Okay, this isn't up for you challenging me on this. This is fact. I learned this on the ambulance service, one of the things that I remembered. Okay, oxygen, nutrients, and water. And you need the best amounts and the best quality of each of these to be the very best version of yourself. You cannot expect to run a Ferrari on crude oil. It's as simple as that, but people are choosing an acidic diet and expecting to perform optimum levels of peak performance. It simply will not work. Most people in the Western world do not know what it feels like to feel amazing. I can assure you that I do. Okay, I can assure you that I do. I've got an abundant amount of energy. I'm surviving happily on 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night. People are saying, well, we are told by society we need 8. Rubbish, you don't. If you're eating a right amount of certain foods, you can survive on 5 hours sleep, absolutely no problem whatsoever, and not be exhausted in the day. So these are the 3 things that we need. Okay, we need these, and what my plan is all about is helping you get the very best levels of each one of those. So what is Mygreenergyplan? It's a concept born, as I said, out of wanting to see change in my friend, being suitably disgusted that he had got himself into that pit, because he wasn't in that pit when we were friends and going to the gym more than 10 years ago. So I thought, I've got to help. I'm committed, as I said, to humanity, whether it be on a small scale or a much bigger scale. I wanted to make a difference to him to start with. And the more we started speaking about sociology, about psychology, about success principles, about, you know, our own physiology and philosophies and all this kind of stuff, you know, we started thinking, well, we can make a difference here. So I looked at obesity for the first thing, and I saw figures that just blew me socks off, just tore me down, you know. Some people out there may say, well, it's none of your problem. But we don't, you know, if the systems that we've got in place in the government and, you know, the health, the sick care that we've got, the NHS in the UK, etc., aren't working, then we have to, some of us who are responsible, take responsibility and take the necessary action that we can to try and make a difference. And the obesity figures I was absolutely astounded at in the Western world. And I thought to myself, okay, let me dig a little bit deeper down this rabbit hole. And I found that then I looked at diabetes, heart disease and cancer, and literally I was absolutely dumbfounded. I just could not believe the shocking figures that I saw. And these are all illnesses and problems and issues linked to diet, without a shadow of doubt. You know, without a shadow of doubt at all. I know my wife's grandfather had diabetes, lost both of his feet to start with, and then, you know, up to the sort of knee, his legs and this kind of thing. And he carried on eating the bad diet, and that was the reason the doctor had said to him, that's the reason the bad diet is killing you bit by bit by bit. And I was just astounded that so many people were making these bad choices. Now, you might say, well, it's down to the individual, and I think that you're absolutely right, but I think there's a duty of care that I still have from the ambulance service days to provide an awareness. If people don't choose to plug into that online, don't listen to my live streams, periscopes, etc., that's entirely up to them, but I can't say then that I haven't done anything. I'm not an emu. I won't stick my head in the sand. I will try my hardest to make a difference to people wanting to change. So diet and dieting, over 10 million people in the UK did some kind of diet plan in 2015. That in itself is worrying. You know, why are they doing these diet plans when they could make some simple changes, okay, everyday changes, that are going to last our whole lifetime? Most of those rebounded back to poor eating habits because they saw the diet as a hardship. It's as simple as that. They saw the diet as a hardship, so they thought, oh, I can't wait to get rid of this week or 9 days or 2 weeks or 30 days or whatever, and I'll get back to my fish and chip suppers, my processed food, my highly acidic diet, my animal flesh. I can't wait to get off this because I want to get back to normal, drinking my booze, smoking my fags, doing all the stuff that's going to cause you to die, you know, ultimately, and a long suicide. You know, that's the harsh reality of this. People that know me, I'm very direct. I will get results, but I will tell you the truth, exactly how it is. And that's what they see it as. They see it as a trouble to do it rather than a joy to do it, to look after the body that they've got, because it's the only place that they've got to live. It's the only place. These people saying silly things like, oh, well, I eat myself out of depression. Well, you're causing depression by eating the wrong foods. You know, the diet industry is worth billions. It preys on this mentality. It's a business. These huge companies with these powdery, rubbishy shakes and poor quality products prey on these rebounders, going up and down. You've lost a couple of pounds and you think, right, I'll get back on my booze and my sugary cakes and whatever else. So then, you know, a couple of months later, oh, I need to get this weight off to go on a holiday. And people live their desperate lives like that. You know, shooting from one thing to another, rather than saying, okay, I'm going to zag. I call it zig-zagging. Zagging is a day when you have a bad day. Yeah, I'm not saying to anyone, we've all got to turn into vegetarians or vegans. Please don't take me out of context. Okay, what I'm saying is this whole rebound thing. There's no problem in having a couple of bad days a month, you know, whatever, when you're going out with your friends and you're with your family. Yeah, there's no problem in that, as long as you zig back, straight back into it and get back on with your lifestyle. You go into a barbecue and have a few beers and, you know, a bit of animal flesh or whatever else, fine. But you then get back into your routine, get back into your zigging of what your normal life consists of. So most of these diets are fads, trends, or super unhealthy. Who remembers the Atkins diet? You know, where all you've got to eat is cheese and stuff like that. And I was like, how? And people were losing weight on just these proteins. You know, and these, you know, and I was thinking to myself, good Lord, I mean, all that is saying is like, it's killing your heart. You know, it's killing your heart having all of that rubbish on the Atkins. He made millions of pounds, sold hundreds of thousands or millions of books. Okay, and now we know how desperately unhealthy that was. You know, and there's the same with, I could name lots and lots and lots of different plans out there that are that will cause you to lose weight, but are extremely unhealthy in your body. And as I said, you know, this is a miracle that you're here on this rock spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, suspended in nothing and held on by an invisible force. You know, think about that next time you're having a bad day. It's a miracle. There's nothing short of a miracle that you grew from something microscopic into a human being. It's a miracle. So you need to understand that, and you need to say to yourself, well, I'm going to juice every bit of life out of this that I've been given. I'm going to live at my absolute maximum potential so that I'm going to do all the things I've ever wanted to do and see all the things I've ever wanted to do, because we are the directors of our own destiny. So I asked myself this simple question. Can I increase awareness and help those wanting to be helped on a large scale using a simple system? It had to be simple. You know, complexity kills execution. If I made it too complex, I'd lose people and people wouldn't want to get involved. And I said to myself, well, I've got to make it simple so people start educating themselves, educating their families, and we start something. It might just be 5 people that want to start, but then 5 people spreads to another, they tell 5 people, and before we know it, we can really get some power behind some simple choices. So weight loss. Weight loss was the starting point of Mygreenergyplan, so let's begin tonight there. We've all heard the term balanced diet, adequate hydration and exercise when addressing weight loss. But what do we actually need to consume or partake in? I think it's just because I was talking about earlier about choice. I think we're just blown away with choice. Someone's saying don't eat carbs, and some other person saying they're fine. Someone else saying to lose weight, you've got to avoid all fats. Well, I've never heard what a load of old crop that is. To lose weight, I can tell you, and I'm going to tell you tonight, 2 fats to consume to lose weight. 2 fats to consume to lose weight. You can put me on record for that. Also, making weight loss convenient and cheap so it fits into the modern life without hitting people in the pocket or taking their precious time. You know, I've said already, we live in a convenience world. People aren't going to all of a sudden put 2 hours a day into their health, even though they should. I do. You know, cooking fresh meals and trying different recipes and combining different foods and being excited about things. Some things taste like rubbish and some things taste amazing. you know, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create, you know, that interest and get my taste buds tingling. So I wanted to make it cheap, because people are always worried if a can of beans is 25p and another one's 50p. The vast majority are going to go for the 25. And it's full of sugars and it's full of salt, whatever else. They don't care about that. It's just the 25p. So I've had to say to myself, to get real people balancing their weight at a level that they're happy with, I've got to make it affordable. And I've got to make it so that it takes very little time. So what if I told you can lose weight, have an amazing energy and positivity for a maximum of 30 minutes a day and for £3 or £4 per day expense? That is the price of a Costa. That is the price of one of these flipping, what are they called? You know, these lunches that you get at the supermarkets that you think are all super healthy and they're not. You know, these pasta salads they make up for you or whatever else, you know, and it's all just poor quality, and you pay £3 or £4, don't you, for one of them. So a Costa coffee or one of them, or I don't know, a couple of bottles of pop or whatever you normally drink. I've done it as cheap as I possibly can. And that's like the shopping I went out for. If you're not on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Mygreenergyplan, go on there. I put a little video. I spent less than £20 today buying some produce, less than £20 that's going to survive me the next week. Okay, that's for my morning routine, £20. Now, I know that years ago when Kelly did, I don't know how much they are now, but years ago when Kelly did one of these shake-based diets, begins with C and it ends in Ambridge diet, she was paying around about £3 per shake. That was, again, not something that I would like you to get involved in, because it just simply doesn't bring the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals into your body. But your choice is your choice. But she was doing that £3 a shake. So for me to be saying to yourself £3 to £4 a day, having whole foods, the right foods and the right activity, I don't think that anyone can say that it's overpriced against what you can go and spend out there wanting to get your body in shape. So number one, introducing the green smoothie. Okay, it's a simple fact that in the Western world, we eat a terrible diet and we use all sorts of excuses why. I can't do it convenience. I'm at university and I haven't got time to eat, and I haven't got time to do this, and I've not got time on a Sunday night, and I can't do this, and I need to pop at this shop and I forgot, and the kids have been busy pestering me, and we come up with all sorts of excuses. You're not the people I'm reaching out to tonight. Okay, it's not the ones that are coming up with excuses. It's the ones that can find an hour on a Sunday night to do some food prep. It's the ones that can find 30 minutes is all a day. And that includes your exercise. 30 minutes a day includes your exercise and your food prep every day. So everything's going to be encapsulated inside 30 minutes, which I think is pretty amazing. You can just get up 30 minutes earlier, and you will do when you've got this newfound energy. We know that we should eat lots of fruit and vegetables, but we don't. Okay, we simply know that we should do it. Every single person's all told us eat a balanced diet. We don't know how a balanced diet is, but we've said, okay, we know that we should be eating a balanced diet. We should be drinking plenty of water. We should be taking some kind of exercise, etc., etc. We hear the myth about 5 portions of fruit and vegetables a day, and the reality is more like 10. And I'll tell you the reason for that is the land is over-farmed. It's lost its valuable nutrients. They used to leave farmland for a year or 2 years even, farmers' fields, for them to recuperate, okay, for the soil to get its nutrients back into it. Now they just farm it year on year. And because there's just this, you know, the population is exploding, and there is this desire to have all of these food stores everywhere, isn't there? Look at the amount of waste in these huge supermarkets, the food that's thrown away. It's absolutely shocking. You know, you could don't get me on that tonight, but it's absolutely shocking, the waste. So the land is over-farmed because we wanted more and more and more food to be produced, and the quality of the fruits and vegetables that we're getting from the land is not the same as it was in the Second World War, okay, in the last 50, 60, 70 years. It's not the same. It's about a quarter are good. So a carrot has a quarter amount of nutrients now as it did back then, which is staggering. It's staggering. So the government and the agencies, the health agencies, saying have your five a day, people are maybe the ones that are having 5 a day, it's the equivalent of about 2 a day, maybe one a day. So you need to be having a look at 10 a day, maybe more than 10 a day. And now you say to yourself, well, I can't do 10, Ben. That's impossible. What am I going to do? Have 10 portions of fruit and vegetables on my Sunday dinner? No, this is the green smoothie, and this is the beauty of this whole concept. What better way than to have your daily fruit and veg in a blended smoothie format? So you get out of bed, you simply blend up all of your fruits and vegetables that you're going to have that day and drink. And then you drink them down. And you make it so it's absolutely amazing tasting. So it tastes beautiful. You look at it and think, that looks horrendous. But the taste of it is incredible. It was a concept that was brought about by a woman called Victoria Butenko, I think you pronounce that, in 2004. So as I said, this is a new concept in terms of weight management, in terms of healthy living, in terms of disease and illness prevention. This is very new. It's just been going just longer than a decade. This lady was a raw vegan, but she did some comparisons to a chimpanzee DNA from a human. They're the next closest, 99.4% match DNA, human to chimpanzee. So she did an American diet compared to a chimpanzee diet. You don't need the brains of an archbishop to understand that there was a void the size of a crevasse on Everest between the two. You know, it was incredibly different. You know, the fats and processed foods of the American diet against the nuts, seeds, fruits and leafy greens of the chimpanzee. Chimpanzees have a high intolerance to cancers. They're not obese because of the activity and exercise. You know, and all of these things started matching up for her. And she saw this pattern with leafy greens and thought, okay, what if I put some leafy greens in with a banana? She started off with, believe it or not, and went for some spinach and a banana, and went from that and was like, this is actually tastes really nice. And now I'm getting my greens. Now, the problem that we have, because of the industrialized world that we live in, and because of the acidic foods that we eat, which I'm going to show you shortly, our stomach acid has watered right down. You know, when you were as sick as a child, and there was that burning in your throat, wasn't there, when you were sick with your stomach acid come up, and it was horrendous. It lasted probably about 3 hours. You drink water and it didn't seem to go, and after you'd been sick, there was that nasty feeling. As an adult, you tell me if you've been sick recently, you tell me whether you have the same burning or not, and I can guarantee in 99.9% of cases, not. And that is the reason the strength of the hydrochloric acid isn't the same. Meaning, if you eat something like leafy greens, and if you eat a leafy green, you would need to chew it 50 times. We would have jaws like, who's got a massive jaw? I don't know, Arnie, he's got quite a big jaw, hasn't he? We'd all have jaws like Arnie. You know, if we ate leafy, we're not going to chew one mouthful of food 50 times. Most of the time, because of the convenience world that we live in, we're eating the food as fast as we can throw it down our necks. We've got the kids to sort out the baths, to do the school uniforms, whatever else. Okay, so we're doing that when we're chewing our food maybe twice. So the mechanical breakdown of leafy greens isn't there. The hydrochloric acid is weak. I can't break it down. We're not getting the nutrients. So when you blend and smash the leafy greens down in a blender, it's taken the mechanical part away straight away. So you are already breaking that leafy greens hard exterior cellular structure down, so you can start getting the nutrients right away from it. Also, what people don't understand is when you cook something, you lose 50% of its nutrients. So when these people say about this protein and what X, Y, or Z, as soon as you cook a steak, you've lost 50% of its protein. You've lost 50% of the nutrients in leafy greens by boiling them up. You know, your nan used to do cabbage, didn't she? So until it was just insipid, wasn't it? You used to cook the death out of it, pour away the goodness in the water, and you got what was left on the plate. You catching my drift now where I'm going with this? So raw leafy greens are going to do amazing things. Let me give you the secret. The secret here is, guess what takes the majority of your energy in the human body? 70% of your energy is taken away by digestion, by digesting things. So if you're eating something tough like a leafy green on a Sunday dinner, it's going to take a lot of energy. Meaning, what do people do a lot of the time after Sunday dinners? Oh, I feel tired, don't they? You see it all the time. Is this piecing together the jigsaw for you? Hopefully it is. So by having a smoothie, it's a drink, it goes down, the digestion process is a lot easier, the mechanical process is taken out, which is the chewing, and you can take on the nutrients and all of the wonderful things in those greens without the nasty taste. I've even got Isabella on them. And Isabella, you try and get her near a Brussels sprout or a bit of cabbage or a bit of spinach or Swiss chard or whatever else, no chance. No chance. But now she's having these, she's drinking them down. Oh, Dad, this tastes of banana. This one's got mango in it. Beautiful. It's working for me. I'm getting my daughter, skin's cleared up, her energy levels already. I'm seeing a significant difference. So its popularity over the last 10 years in a hectic, convenience-fueled world is growing. You know, you look anywhere, juice bars popping up, smoothie places. Yeah, there's coffee shops now that are incorporating them. This is going supercharged. You know, it's the combination of leafy greens such as kale, spinach, Swiss chard, and broccoli, plus sweet fruits for taste. I mean, I actually went out the other day, collected some dandelion leaves. You can do them, and I ate them. You know, I'm going to be hugging trees soon. But like, with joking aside, you know, you can get so many different varieties of leafy greens. You know, it's absolutely unbelievable. You can use the greens off the top of beetroots, for example. You know, you can use all different sorts of things and then combine them with different fruits. You can make it an exciting thing. And I involve Isabella with it. I think it's fun for the kids to get involved in what flavors do we want today and help them and let them make. It takes you 5 minutes, and that includes washing the blender out. It's incredible. It's quick, it's easy, it's cheap, and it's a brilliant meal replacement. As I said, £20 for myself, Isabella and Kelly to have green smoothies for breakfast for the next week. 20 quid. So that's, what's that? 7 quid, give or take, £7. £7 English per person, £1 a day. £1 a day. To have something nutritional like that, and you're getting 5 portions of fruit and vegetables in one foul sweep as morning. And you know what? Because of the high levels of protein in it, because of all the other vitamins and minerals, it actually lasts you till lunchtime. You don't even want to eat anything. So what's that doing? Replacing these sugar and carbohydrate driven breakfast cereals that you've processed breakfast cereals that a lot of kids eat, and feel empty after an hour because of the high GI, which is glycemic index level of these processed cereals and all these kind of things. You know, you'll find that the energy raises and then crashes. You know, if you've got a lower glycemic load and glycemic index, the energy is released slower throughout the day, and the fiber in the leafy greens allows you to have energy, the energy to be released slower throughout the day. You know, it's been a fascinating journey for me. It really has. Just look at this research yourself. It's incredible when you start looking at it. So the next thing, after having ourselves a green smoothie every day, and like I said, bananas in it, apples in it, you can put strawberries, blueberries, pineapple, nice fresh pineapples, beautiful in it as well, you know, and then spinach, or I use spinach and kale predominantly with some broccoli, you know, and make some recipes. There's going to be some on the website for you to enjoy. You know, try them out, go down, buy yourself a few bits and pieces, and, you know, stick them in your blender and, you know, have a lot of fun. And if you haven't got a blender, you can buy them for as little as £30 to start yourself off on this this journey. So oxygenation. If I told you that you could change your posture, you can change your energy. People say to me, what a load of nonsense that is. Well, I'm telling you it's true. And I learned this at UPW, Anthony Robbins and the guys down there in London, just over a month ago. By moving from an office hunch or a sofa sloth, and they're my terminologies, as you can tell, always like to bring a bit of a smile, into an erect torso, and I did say torso there, you can get more oxygen into your lungs, this combating fatigue. So just sit up, shoulders back, chest out. If you just simply change your posture, what you're doing is you're going to allow your lungs to expand fully, and by letting your lungs expand fully allows more oxygen to get into your lungs because they're like balloons. And when more oxygen gets in there, then that gets passed over a lot easier into the bloodstream. So you've got more oxygenated blood in your bloodstream, which is getting transferred by the blood vessels to your cells. So you're getting more oxygen to your cells by simply changing how you sit. And you might think, well, this guy's bonkers, but it's absolute fact. And then when learning how to breathe, you've got something called the diaphragm. And this is at the bottom of your lungs. And what this is basically trying to think of a frisbee. You remember the old frisbees? And if you push it down, it sort of pops back, and push it down and it pops back up, that kind of process. And what it does is as your lungs, as you inflate your lungs, okay, your diaphragm pushes up, and then it goes down when you deflate. So it's like a balloon, you know, your lungs are filling your chest like a balloon. That's the simplest system that I can use for you people listening tonight. And what you need to look at doing is start breathing with your correct posture and breathing, filling your lungs from the bottom to the top. So picture when you take it in a deep breath, that you're breathing from your diaphragm, which is at the bottom of your lungs, and filling them like you're filling a milk bottle, washing it out from the tap, from the bottom upwards. And then pause when you've breathed in and release when you've breathed out. You only need to have a look at some yoga or meditation breathing exercises tonight. Please feel free to do that. There's going to be some added to our website for you to enjoy, but have a look at some tonight, and you'll understand exactly what I mean when I say about breathing exercises. It also, for those people that believe in it, it also increases the manifestation of good things into your life. Because now I can get to a stage where I can breathe quite comfortably for 10 minutes at 3 breaths a minute. Because what I will do is I will do a 7-6-7 sequence, which is 7 seconds breathing in, 6 seconds hold, 7 seconds breathing out. And I will do that. And you can change the ratio of that, but that's just something that I've been trialing. And I've been doing it a lot of the time underwater, to find real deep relaxation at the gym. And by breathing at 3 times a minute like that for a few minutes, you'll find your focus, your clarity in thinking, all completely and utterly changes from you oxygenating your body in a completely different manner. What do people do when they're stressed? People, when they're stressed, breathe very quickly. Very shallow, hunched forward shoulders, their body posture changes, often rub their face, hands on their face and that kind of thing when they're stressed. As soon as a lot of smokers, what do? Go and have a cigarette when they're stressed. Why? Because it slows your breathing down. There's a misconception, they think it's the nicotine. It's the actual fact that their breathing changes, makes them feel more relaxed. I feel better now I've had a fag. That's what they say. Meaning, I feel better now that I've calmed my breathing down, because I was getting myself all worked up and more anxious. Again, feel free to investigate that. The next one is exercise. Many people get scared of this word, but we simply have to get moving. We have to get moving. If you're a couch potato like Ali, I said, the first thing we've got to do is get you off that couch. You know, the first thing that we've got to do is get off that couch. That is after he had made the decision he wanted to change. So we've got to get moving. And I'm not saying to you, you've got to get your spandex on and your lycra and you've got to be seen with your obs and gobs wobbling all up and down the street. I'm not going as far as that. What I'm not saying is I want you to make any significant, ridiculous changes in your life. These things are all some simple changes any of you can do, any of you can concentrate on doing every day, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money or take a lot of your time. We need to be aware of the lymphatic system. So this is going a little bit technical for you. The heart is a pump for the blood. The lymphatic system has no pump. The lymphatic system is controlled and works on movement. Okay, on movement. And the lymphatic system has 3 times as much fluid than the circulatory system, than blood. Yeah, and what it's in charge of doing is it gets the white blood cells around to fight infections. Okay, and it's kind of like a cleansing system. It gets rid of the toxins out of your body. So let's just look at this. 3 times as much fluid. It gets rid of the toxins out of your body. Do you think that it might be a good idea if we washed it out occasionally? Do you think it might be a good idea that we kept our hydration levels at a point where we were fueling that, allowing the white blood cells to go and combat these little bugs and illnesses that we're getting, allowing the toxins to be removed out of our body and passed in our water? Yeah, I think it might be a good idea. And I'm not being patronizing, because a lot of people don't understand the lymphatic system and what it actually does. It's the water that's in between the cells. You know, when there's a leaky cell or something like that, it picks all of that up as well and cleanses. Okay, so it's a very, very intricate system that a lot of people think, oh, the blood and circulatory system, the respiratory system, the nervous system. They forget about the lymphatic system. It's extremely important. So these people that eat a highly acidic diet, yeah, processed food, animal flesh, starchy, carbohydrates, sugars, you know, I mean, when I say acidic food, acidic diet, let me give you an example. A can of Coke, yeah, is a pH 2 on the pH scale. You know, it's about as acidic as what you can possibly get. You know, carbonated drinks are so bad for you. So bad for you. And, you know, the people that have these kind of things, you know, have bad posture, as we spoke about, are hunched over an office all day, you know, without sitting themselves up, pushing their chest out, shoulders back, breathing correctly, you know, take no exercise at all, bus to work, car to work, walk out into the office, work, car, home, sit in traffic, you know, and take on little water, are committing prolonged suicide. It's that serious. Hence me speaking to you tonight, hence me putting this plan together. It's that serious. It's that serious. I'm that committed to this. My education over the last 20 years now has led me to understand how serious this problem is. The amount of deaths that are through diet every year is soaring. You know, people are committing prolonged suicide. I'm here to give you the awareness. 2 types of exercise that we can do, anaerobic and aerobic. Anaerobic means without oxygen. Anaerobic is where you thrash yourself, basically. You know, where you're like, you can't talk. It uses carbs and as its primary fuel. And this is where you can't speak. It also uses glycogen as a fuel as well. It's where you can't speak during training. HIIT and sprints are examples. I do HIIT twice a week. So maybe sometimes 3 times. High intensity interval training consists of short bursts of maximum effort and short periods of rest. People do this in resistance training on weights as well, deadlifts and all those kind of things, where you do everything that you can, rest, then everything that you can, rest. Exactly the same in the gym tomorrow. I will be doing HIIT workouts, things like burpees, press ups, things like that, to my maximum effort for 40 seconds, say then 20 seconds rest. 40 seconds, 20 seconds rest. Now you'll say, well, it says that they burn carbs there, Ben. Yes, but it raises your metabolism for the next 24 hours. When your metabolism raises, guess what happens? You start burning fat. Yeah, you'll fat burn. You only need to do 3 HIIT workouts of 15 minutes each for 1 week, after another week, after another week, and you will cut through fat like a knife through butter. It's incredible fat burning exercise to do. It really is. And you can do anything that you want to do. You could do it I did one in the garden where I've got a little step. You can do step ups, 40 seconds of step ups as fast as you can. You could do then like half sits, 40 seconds of half sits, and do 3 sets of each. I like to do 3 sets of 3. So do 3 exercises 3 times each, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. And I'll tell you what, at the end of that, you'll go, thank God I've not got to do that again. But it's lasted you 15 to 20 minutes top end. That's it. So when I say to you, you can do your smoothie now, 5 minutes, 8 minutes tops. You can do your exercise, 15 minutes. Hey, we've got some time to read some books on mindset. Yeah, we've got some time to make ourselves some lemon and lime water, get ourselves hydrated. So due to increasing metabolism, as I said there, it's going to burn fat for up to 24 hours. How are we doing? Oh, I best press on. The next one, aerobic, means with oxygen, so it increases the oxygen in your body. These exercises are where you can still hold a conversation. You know, fat is your primary source of fuel burn. So fat burning zone. For me, I'm going to put an equation. Those people that want to get involved, it's absolutely wonderful. I've got like a 30-day kickstart for you to get involved in that I'm really excited about sharing. That's going to be on the website as well. Those people that are getting involved with that, I'm going to be showing just some simple equations, and one of those equations is how to work out your aerobic heart rate, and it's very, very simple. And when you find that aerobic heart rate, you can still talk to your friend on the treadmill or whatever you're doing, or for a nice brisk walk, and hold a conversation and exercise. So it's kind of a, let's call it a friendly kind of way of burning fat, because you're not out of puff and it's not scary, and you've not got to be lycra clad if you don't want to. So it includes walking, slow jogging, swimming, and resistance training. You know, your heart rate 9 times out of 10, if you're doing any kind of weights thing, if it's not HIIT training, then, you know, you're going to be in that kind of aerobic zone. It's a fabulous all-round exercise. Absolutely love doing aerobic. And on the other days of the week, I'll do aerobic exercise, something as simple as walking a dog. You know, is aerobic exercise. And this is the best example of slowing down to speed up weight loss, fat burning. You know, you are slowing down, i.e. not having to go like the clappers doing exercise, just taking some form of exercise, but getting into that fat burning zone. As I said, the equations will be there for you. And then the benefit, this is going to benefit your heart, lungs, and blood vessels, because you are getting more oxygen into your system, and more oxygen is going, and increased heart rate is going to start getting them muscles and everything working that little bit harder. So you're going to strengthen up. It's just fabulous. You know, it's a great way, and you feel invigorated for the rest of the day because you've got that more oxygen in your system, so less fatigue. Hydration's number 4. These are all things, by the way, that are going to be encompassed within the website, things that we've been working on, sharing some information with you. The website is there, as I said, and it's going to be evolving. It's going to be evolving pretty much every day. We're so excited about it. We've been working tirelessly. So please let me know on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram if you're getting some value out of the website, because as I said, it's not going to stay as it is now. It's going to keep growing and growing, and the more we learn, the more you can use it to bring your customers to, and, you know, share some great information with them as well. So the next thing is going to be the hydration, and this is this is the biggest visible secret to weight loss. To get Kelly's weight off, you know, I said to Kel, let's have a look at what you got to do, and I will be perfectly honest with you. Kelly's my wife, by the way. She struggled, and I'll tell you the reason she struggled. She struggled with digestion and regularity. You know, that's where she struggled. She might have sometimes up to a week, if she had a bad diet, a week where her regularity was all thrown out of sync. So I said the first thing that we need to do, Kel, is we need to go to hydration. And we need to do a simple equation. Again, there's another equation for how much water you should be drinking every single day. We need at least 2.5 litres of water as a regular size adult. So I say regular size, we're not a regular size, but you catch my drift. We need at least 2.5 litres just to top up the lymph system, just to get rid of them toxins. 2.5 litres. Okay, so that's going to be around about 5 pints a day. You know, and people say, well, I can't do, it's not possible. Well, you're not committed to change then. You know, that's the kind of thing, you know, you've got to say to yourself, this is the single biggest visible secret to weight loss. You change some carbonated drinks for water, you are going to see such a significant change in your overall health, you won't even recognize yourself. In the vast majority of cases, when you feel hungry, you're in fact thirsty. Fact. However, most people will reach for food. You know, when you go for a fridge raid and you think, oh, I'm a bit peckish, it's about 9 o'clock at night or whatever, and that's the worst thing that you can do, by the way. Never consume food, you know, after 8 o'clock of any substance. You know what I mean? If you're going to go there and pick a few, you know, bits of fruit or something like that, it's fine. But if you're going to go and start having yourself some cheese and crackers or some beans on toast or something at 9 o'clock at night, avoid. Or a cake or a little bit of nick your children's packed lunch. Okay, just be careful after 8 o'clock, because what you're doing is then you're going to bed with that food, the digestion. What's it doing? It's storing it as fat. So you're going to struggle. So I would say 8 o'clock needs to be the last time. If you go to bed at traditional sort of crazy times like myself, and sort of anything between 10 and sort of 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, then go and drink some water first. Go and drink some water, first of all, before you eat, and then ask yourself the same question. You know, say, am I still hungry after you've had a pint of water? And I guarantee most times, over 90% of the time, you'll say, I'm not actually hungry, I'm thirsty. If there's any color to your urine at all, you're dehydrated, any color. It wants to be no darker than Chardonnay. Okay, you're going to always have a darker color in the morning. Why? Because overnight, your body becomes acidic overnight. So this is one of the reasons you'll find a lot of talk about the alkaline diet and my alkaline preferences and having alkaline foods, because what you want to be doing is you want to say to yourself, I have spirulina, which is probably the best all-round food for human health. And I have that at night, and I have that with aloe gel, and I have that with a pint of water afterwards at night, because I'm battling against the acidic processes that go on through the body, the repair and all of this kind of thing, and the toxins being taken out of your cells. At night when you're sleeping, I'm preparing, giving my body the best chance of being energized in the morning, making sure that I've had a drink before I go to bed. Some people say, well, I don't want to drink before I go to bed, I'll be getting to go to the toilet. I'd sooner go to the toilet in the night and be healthy. Same applies if you've got a dry mouth. If you've got a dry mouth, then you're dehydrated. So if there's any color at all to the water that you pass, or if you've got a dry mouth, then you are acidic in your body. Yeah, you are dehydrated, and your mind will only work at a maximum of 60% of its potential if you're heavily dehydrated. So if you want to be more productive, then you need to drink water. If you want better ideas, if you want to be, if you want to be happier, if you want to lose weight, it's such an important thing. And I would suggest that you all buy a water filter, some kind of filtration system, because tap water has just got heavy metal traces and all sorts of stuff in. So I would say to yourself, even if it's a basic one, have some kind of water filter, that's going to filtrate your water, and have that in the fridge, and then just fill it up and put it back in the fridge, or keep it on the side, whatever you want to do, whether you like your water warm or cold. 10 benefits here of drinking water: increases the energy, it removes the toxins, as we spoke about, the lymphatic system, promotes weight loss, as a natural headache relief, boosts the immune system, it aids digestion, as I said with Kelly, with the green smoothies and the water, regular as clockwork, and the weight loss as well. And the two are attached together, getting her body from an acidic state to a pH neutral or more alkaline is incredible. And the difference in it is just remarkable. It improves your skin condition. It saves you money on other drinks, clearly, because you're not buying other pops and juices and that kind of thing. It increases your productivity, as we spoke about your brain then, being more productive and thinking more clearly and having more focus, more direction, and less likely to get ill. You're less likely to pick up bugs than that if you're properly hydrated and you're running at optimum. When you start having a few aches and pains and you're tired and there's some toxins that come, free radicals take hold of you, then you're going to start getting unwell and getting unwell quickly. So mindset now is the fifth key component. Without the strength of character, you're never going to take the action to change. And I know that there's going to be people listening tonight and they're not going to be bothered about change, and they're going to be happy still eating processed food, animal flesh, starchy foods, sugars, wrong carbohydrates in the wrong amount. Nothing wrong with certain carbohydrates. Bad fats, hydrogenated fat, triglycerides, those like corn syrups, all this kind of rubbish. You're just going to walk away from this webinar and say, something, I'm just going to do that. My life is my life. That's totally your call. There's going to be other people that say, something, I've heard something tonight, I'm going to take some action. I'm going to change. It might not be, buying into what I'm saying to you. You might want to do something else, but whatever, look after your body. It begins with subtle unhappiness at your own situation. Have a look at your body. Strip off naked and stand in front of the mirror. Pull your best He-Man pose or Wonder Woman and say to yourself, am I happy with what's looking back at me? Truthfully, am I happy? You might be happy with your mind in terms of where you are, but look at your body, you're happy. And I would say that there's a lot of people, well, 10 million people dieted, so 10 million ain't happy. And that's the adults, you know, that's not kids or anything. So against the percentage population, that's a lot. You know, are you shocked enough by something that you witnessed to change? You know, what about if someone had a bad illness in your family and you think, I wouldn't go through that? I saw my granddad die of brain cancer, you know, and I saw my diet that my granddad ate when my nan passed away for 10 years. And I think to myself, you know, I didn't get to see as much of him as I'd like to have done, but I thought to myself, I wonder if he'd changed that with anything would change. To see change, you've got to change. I wonder whether anything would have changed. You know, I wonder whether just some simple things. It's all very well wondering. I have to say to myself, you've got to be shocked. I was shocked seeing him whittle away. I was shocked at seeing that ravaging disease get hold of him and thinking, you know something, I'm not waiting until it's got hold of me. I'm taking action, prevention rather than cure. I'm going to prevent it rather than try and cure it when I've got it. I'm going to do everything in my power to live as healthy as I possibly can and pass that education on to my family and my friends and those people that want to buy into that process. My Mygreenergyplan is, I'm as bad as other people saying that now. It's Mygreenergy. It's greenergy, a synergy of mindset, smoothies, diet, energy, the whole thing. So it's Mygreenergyplan. It's here to support you to become the very best version of yourself. Okay, it's the very best version of yourself. And you can only do that, as I said, with the 3 key things that we spoke about: oxygen, nutrients, and water, and how you combine those to be that very best version. So here we are. This is the website. It's going to be live. Ali's going live, I believe, at 9 o'clock, removing that. So we should be live now on there, which is tremendous. I'm so excited to be sharing that with you. That's going to be the home screen for you. As I said, there's about, please watch the about video. It explains it a little bit more. It's only 6 minutes long, and there's a little bit of text there. Fighting illness, some of the research that I've done, the Gerson Institute over in Hungary, alternative cancer clinic there, dealing in raw vegetables. There's a common vein of what I'm saying to you here. Raw is key. You know, if you want to be the healthiest, most vibrant, the most energetic, you need to be looking. I'm saying to myself now, I know I zag, but 70% raw vegan, 70% raw vegan to help my body. And I've never felt as well as I do now. I'm running faster than the military 20 years ago. I'm lifting heavier weights than back then as well. I feel as I'm able to take on tasks, stick at tasks. I've got the concentration and the focus, and I've been doing this for just over a month. You know, it's incredible, and I feel just alive. Food and drinks, the smoothie recipes on there, some protein things on there for you, superfood salads, there's some marinades, rubs, there's some dressings. The blog, I've written the first blog that's about coconut oil and its benefits for you. The mindset you can plug into there, some of the guys that, another video, have a watch of that. Some of the guys that I'm working with on this, and how they can help you in different areas. The energy, there's why drink lemon water and hydration, and the fitness that we spoke about, and contact us. You know, and as I said, this is going to grow on the blog there. I'm going to be putting videos for you, things that I find out that's going to be helpful. It's interlinked to the bottom of the page. You're going to find your social media icons. It's going to take you across to my Instagram. It's going to take you across to the Facebook page that we've got. And just, like I say, use it. Please, by all means, the plans that I've put there, there's 3 plans that you can plug into. There's a 30-day kickstart to change you with some of the concepts that I've spoken about tonight. And I think if we just go onto the Google Hangouts, we've got the offer here on the right-hand side, which is if you go for the gold, which is the bottom package, the 30-day plan, you'll have a look on the website. It'll explain it a little bit more to you. It's going to include a goal-setting appointment with myself, okay, if you take action today. So anyone that takes action today plugs into that. Alio said he's working on the plans as we speak. But anyone that takes action is going to be goal-set. So whether it's diet, weight loss, whether you want to move your business forward, whatever it might be, then you're going to get that free appointment as well if you're serious about changing your life. By all means, guys, head across there, mygreenergyplan.com. I really, really hope that you've taken some value out of tonight's webinar. I put some thought into it for you that might give you a few tips. I have just got a couple of other slides that I'll put at the end. Let's have a look. So 3 foods that burns fat. We briefly mentioned these. Avocado. Now, avocado is, people will say, well, that's fatty, it's high in calories, per 100 grams, 160 calories, but they're good calories and they're good fats. Okay, they're medium chain fatty acids in there. Absolutely amazing at losing weight. Why? Because they're processed quickly and they're processed in the liver. Okay, meaning that when you take those fatty acids, what happens is they turn straight to energy. Turns to energy, and when you've got energy, you can burn fat. And I have a look at the ins and outs of it. I haven't got time tonight because we've run over, but I have a look at the ins and outs of avocado. Coconut oil. I've done a blog post on coconut oil. Please go and check that out. It's an incredible ingredient. You can use it to clean your teeth. You know, get rid of the plaque and get rid of all the bacteria out of your mouth. Chia seeds, buzzword in the smoothie world at the minute. Put some chia seeds into your smoothies. Absolutely marvelous superfood to promote weight loss. You know, and these here, you know, have got oils in them. You know, the first 2 are like fats. People say that's oil. Oil is fat. Fat is bad. Wrong education. You know, that's what I'm saying. You need to be careful. Not all fats are bad. So I just want to leave you with that thought. A few of the other key points that I brought up, I'm going to do in another webinar for you, because I simply, with sharing that information, didn't have time for showing the rest. But I've got lots of stuff that's going to be going onto that website for you to enjoy in the weeks to come. Thank you very much for, you know, taking the time out, for supporting this quest and taking the time out of your busy Sunday nights to listen to my philosophies. And I look forward to getting your response of the website and seeing what you think. Take care, and thank you very much for listening. Good night.